What's up, guys? It's McNulty here. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing well. And today we have the Clash of Knights event, which is back. So we've not just got the two groups of knights, we've got all of the groups of knights now. The wolves, the ravens, the ravens, the stags, and the bears. So I hope you guys are ready for this alliance quest. And along with it, it's brought some brand new heroes into the portal. In fact, there's quite a few to have a look at today. So we've got 2 new 5 stars. So 2 new 5-star heroes. We've got a 4-star hero, which is great, lovely. And also a 3-star hero, which is awesome as well. So we're beefing up this portal quite a bit. We haven't seen any significant buffs for the previous Clash of Knights heroes, but hopefully that will be coming in the not so distant future. So we're going to start off and we'll have a look at Daemon. So Daemon is a fire hero of the fighter class. Fantastic. So it gives him the chance to revive. He looks like the lover boy of the Clash of Knights event. He's the prince, pretty evil looking prince, to be fair. And he is part of the stag family. So just a refresher on the stag family bonus. For 1, 2, or 3 heroes, all received attack status ailments are replaced by an increase of 40, 60, or 70% attack buff for the following 3 turns. So that's pretty decent because you can't give any attack down ailments to these heroes. Now, they do also have this passive, which is the health recovery on buff received. We've seen this with quite a few of the new heroes, in fact, from a lot of different family groups now. So it seems to be quite a popular passive. But basically, this character recovers 5% health when they receive a buff or a positive stack. Now, we've also seen the Mana Gen one, but these guys only have a single passive. So maybe a little tick against them there, unfortunately, just a single passive. But the family bonus is good, and his class for Daemon is excellent. Now, in terms of the team power for this hero, we're looking at 992. So like I said, I think that by the end of January, we're going to be getting up to about 1,000, maybe end of January, beginning of February. And we are creeping closer to that. So just keep an eye on that for now. Now, his attack stat is at 1069. Defense of 947 and a health of 1631. So he's slightly less, slightly lower on the health department, but overall extremely great stats. And the attack stat is just absolutely bonkers. If we do limit break or second limit break Daemon, we're going to be looking at 1430 on the attack. That's huge, and that's without any additional troop bonuses. 1293 on defense and 2143 on the health. And he benefits from the attack up ether talent. So at the start of battle, he gets an extra 20% attack for 6 turns. Whether he needs it, nobody knows, but that's what he gets. So let's move on to this guy's special skill. So his special is called Blood Petals, and he's running at very fast speed. Now, just, bear with me, but you're going to see, we've probably seen this kind of special skill before. It's kind of like just a revamp of one of the old heroes that we all know and love, but they've just increased everything, the power and everything else. First of all, he dispels buffs from the target. Fantastic. We got a priority dispel. He blocks talent skill activation for the target for the following 3 turns. So the target's talents can't activate. So if you're hitting, let's say, a fighter, he's not going to be able to revive for the following 3 turns, etc. A rogue, they're not going to be able to dodge for the following 3 turns. That's the way that works. He then deals a whopping 485% damage to the target, which is humongous. And the target cannot cast any new status effects on enemies or allies for 3 turns. Let's just hit the little question mark before we go over this. If it'll allow me to. This includes stacks. This only includes status effects cast with special skills. All right, so who does this guy remind you of? The humble Malosi, the hero of the month. Only he's doing a lot more and he's hitting for a lot harder damage. Now, 485% damage at very fast speed is probably up there with one of the hardest hitting very fast snipers in the game. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that with that huge attack stat, he probably is going to be the hardest hitting very fast sniper. And he dispels the buffs up front, which is also great because you don't want any nasty counterattacks interfering with your slaying the enemy team with that 485% damage. So don't worry, it's not going to be an issue if you manage to pull Daemon because he dispels up front, which is awesome. So, and he dispels all buffs from the target. Now, the part at the end where it says the target cannot cast any new status effects on enemies or allies for 3 turns. That's an extremely powerful effect, and it makes for an extremely good attacking hero. I would say he's going to be more suited well to attack teams rather than defense, but that skill where you can block the enemy from being able to cast any ailments or effects on enemies or on allies is just insane. You can shut down mindless attack heroes, you can shut down heroes that give buffs, you can shut down heroes that cast ailments. So he's a really good all-rounder, and because he's running at very fast speed, you can get him off within 2 tile matches. So an incredible hero, this guy. I think he's going to be really useful. I would say, yeah, he's going to be a bit better on attack than on defense, but you could put him on your defensive team in a pinch, and he's just going to dispel. He's going to cause havoc, and he's going to hit like a truck when he does snipe as well. So for Daemon, I'm going to say A+, no ifs, ands, or buts. I think he's going to be an extremely usable hero, and you're going to want to take this guy out as quickly as possible if you're facing him on the battlefield. Now, we'll move on to Winnie. It is funny that Winnie's part of the bear family. I don't know if you've put 2 and 2 together on that, or if SG did that on purpose, but this one will forever be known as Winnie the Pooh. So Winnie the Pooh, she's part of the bear family, so similar sort of family bonus, except that the bonus is where received defense status elements are replaced by an increase on defense or a defense buff for the following 3 turns, and it's either 40, 60, or 70%, depending on how many heroes you have from the bear family. Which one do I think is better? I don't know. I think it probably depends on the situation and where you're using these heroes, but definitely for the bear family, they're all about survivability, lasting a bit longer. The stag family, I think, maybe more attacking, just making sure that they can't get any reduced attack. So yeah, that's kind of my view on it, but I think both are pretty excellent. Now, she gets the same passive where she recovers 5% health when she receives a buff or positive stack. And if we remove the max power preview, we can see she's lacking a little bit, really low, absolutely just miserable team power of 990. That's not true. Anyway, in case you can't hear the sarcasm in my voice, she's got a massive team power 990. The attack is 927, defense 1015, and health 1837. So a more defensively built hero, goes well with the family, so yeah, that works. Now with the max power preview on, like I say, the stats are just going through the roof, but she does benefit from the defense up ether talent. And why is that super cool for this hero is because of her passive. So if you want to sort of flip the defense up to defense down, you're going to be doing yourself a disservice because the family bonus is going to kick in, and that defense down that you just try to put on Winnie the Pooh is going to become a defense up. By a much higher amount. And I do love the defense up ether talent in and of itself because it just creates survivability and it gives you a bit more time to be able to sort things out at the beginning of the battle. Now, her special skill is unfortunately running at slow speed. It's called Ursine Protection. Not sure where Ursine comes from, but you know, we'll go with it. So she has a priority cleanse. That's interesting. So she cleanses the status ailments from all allies. Now, I really do like that a lot. Because at the moment we've got quite a lot of heroes who do cast ailments where you get a negative effect when you cleanse it. And that I'm going to show you why that's quite important in a moment. So in fact, with this next point. So first of all, she cleanses the status ailments from all allies. She then boosts the health of all allies by 900. That's a huge boost for the whole team. And boosted health, as we know, can exceed max HP. All allies resist max health reduction for 5 turns. So the counters to boosted health are max health reduction. So what they've done is they've just sort of null and voided the counters to max health reduction with this hero, which makes her all the more powerful. And then all allies get plus 60% defense as long as the caster has boosted health. The effect can't be dispelled. So that's an extremely strong special. I know that she's not doing any kind of upfront damage, but what she is doing is she's healing and she's making it stick. Because the defense up makes it that much more difficult to chop her down. I mean, 60% defense up is quite a lot. And you're going to have to get rid of her boosted health before you can start chopping down the other allies on the opposition team. Otherwise, you're just going to be going up against an absolute brick wall. So yeah, Winnie is a beast. I think the saving grace is the fact that she's running at slow speed. Just back to my point that I made a second ago about using her as a counter to heroes that give ailments which do damage. So, for example, let's say you go up against Erlang Shen the Horrible, and he casts his ailment on you. You know you can't cleanse that thing away, otherwise you're going to take damage. So you can kind of calculate with Winnie how much damage you can afford to take. So let's say you've got 1,000 HP left on your hero. You know that damage is going to come off, but you also know that you're going to get a boost of 900. So it's not the most ideal thing because you could kill yourself in the process. So just bear in mind, don't take that. Take it with a little bit of grain of salt there, but it can be a really good counter for heroes like that. And there are many other heroes in the game where the priority cleanse is great. I can think of obviously Giamara from this new portal, who she's featured alongside other heroes here, but where she gives that effect where I think it's here. So all enemies receive mana corruption. Each time an afflicted enemy receives mana from an additional source, they receive 400 damage. So you may want the cleanse to come before the mana. It's not really going to apply for her because she's not dealing mana, but I'm sure there's some situations which are just not coming into my mind right now, where she's going to be extremely useful with the cleanse being a priority for this hero. So yeah, in terms of grading, in terms of where I think she fits, I do think she's going to be able to shut the team down quite well, and she's going to make a really good defensive hero, especially in the rush format. She's going to be an absolute superstar in rush, but also usable in other areas of the game. But yeah, the fact that she's running at slow speed's a little bit of a knock to her, but I don't think with the special she's got, she could have been doing anything else. So I wouldn't go so much as A+, but definitely a solid A. Maybe, depending on where you're using her, maybe a little bit of a B- if you're using her on anything other than a defensive team and in anything other than rush. So a really good hero, though. Don't get me wrong. Congrats if you do manage to grab Winnie. I think she's great. So yeah, a really, really good start in terms of the new 5 stars that we've got. So we've got the 4-star and the 3-star that we're going to have a look at now. So we've got Raleigh, cool name, and he's got a bird, like some kind of eagle. He is of the stag family, so he's got that family bonus. We won't go over it again with the attack. And then he's got the same passive. Now, in terms of the stats, and I like with the 4 stars to keep the max power preview on, you can see that's a pretty decent team power, 950, if you do decide to second limit break this guy. So 887 attack, 935 on the defense, 1831 on the health. So pretty survivable and definitely good stats for a 4-star hero. Sorry, I just want to go out and back in so you can see the guy. So his special's also running at slow speed, and it's called the Tome of the Stag, or the Tomb of the Stag. Now, we do love a good tomb, a tome of tactics, a tome of ascension. We're all about the tombs in this game. Tombs or tomes? I think it's tome. Let's go with tome. I'm stuck there now. So he boosts health of all allies by 500 at slow speed. All allies get plus 30% attack for 5 turns. The attack increases by 5% each turn, up to 50%. All allies get plus 24% mana generation for 5 turns. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm not going to lie, it's quite a good talent, or quite a good special skill, but it's just slightly lacking in terms of what we can see from other heroes that do similar effects, even at the 4-star level. I mean, we've got sort of the heroes like Costume Regard, who will boost the health of the whole team for, I think it's 400. But is that 100% really worth going from a average to a slow speed? Not really, in my opinion. I do like the increased attack. There's not a lot of attack increases that heal by that amount in green. But then if you're going up against Titans and things like that, why wouldn't you just use Tarlak? He's going to increase it that much more, and the heal's not really as important. And the mana generation for the following 5 turns, I mean, it's good, but he is running at slow speed, so it's going to take a while to get that benefit running for your whole team. And by that time, normally the battle is pretty much over. So unfortunately, I don't think that Raleigh is quite as good as he initially seems. I think that he could safely be running at average speed, and that this special wouldn't be out of the realms of what is okay for an average speed hero in today's day and age. And I think that it would actually make him a pretty decent and quite usable hero. But as he's running at slow speed, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Raleigh, unfortunately. Now, on to the last hero in this portal, which is Yona, the little jester. I've definitely seen her in quite a few different places throughout the game. I can't remember where. I think maybe in one of the special offers. So she's a 3-star hero from the bear family. So she gets the defense bonus. Rogue class, so she gets the chance to dodge, which is awesome. And she gets the same passive with the health recovery on buff received. Now, her special skill, we're not going to go over the stats too much just because they don't matter as much at the 3-star level. Just whether the hero's usable or not really is the main thing, and mainly in tournaments. And defense up is a good ether talent, as I've said before. Now, bear with me one sec here. So her special's called Paws or Claws. Okay, so you pick a card for a specific effect. She is running at fast speed, so that's cool. So the first option that you could get is Gentle Paw, where she boosts the health of all allies by 300. For a fast speed special, that's pretty damn good. And all allies get plus 20% for 3 turns. Defense increases by 10% each turn, up to 40%. Alright, so a straight up health boost for all allies, and an increased defense for all allies. That's pretty decent running at fast speed. The second option, or second card draw, would be the Deadly Claw. So that will reduce the max health of all enemies by 300. Of course, we know the effect's stronger against targets with boosted health. And all enemies get minus 20% defense for 3 turns. The defense increases by 10% each turn, up to negative 40% defense. I like that, but the only thing I don't like, and a lot of people aren't going to like, is that it is so random. because you can't really choose where you're going to use this hero. I think she could be a good frustration on a defensive team. I'm thinking of the sort of 3-star tournaments now, where obviously not bloody battle, but some of the others, where that initial health boost or the reduction could both come into play, and increasing defense or decreasing the defense will both come into play as well. So I could see a use for her in the 3-star tournaments. I think that she's going to be quite a fun hero, but unfortunately she's a little bit Kettle-esque, in terms of you never know what exactly she's gonna do, and I'm not a huge fan of too much randomness in this game. I think there's a lot of randomness already. The last thing that we need is going into battle with a hero where we don't know whether she's going to heal us or harm the enemy, and we can't control it. So yeah, it remains to be seen. I think I would definitely level her because it doesn't take much and just for the fun factor. But other than that, yeah, she's okay. So we've got an okay hero. We've got a hero that I'm a little bit disappointed by, actually, the 4-star. And we've got 2 absolutely insane 5 stars. So guys, I wish you all of the best of luck in your summons. If you are going to drop a few pulls, go for gold in the Alliance quest. Have a good time doing it. And please do drop us a like and subscribe if you find the videos helpful. And until next time, I'll see you all again in the next video. Bye for now.